Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Bridget's She Shed. I'm Bridget, and I am so excited to be back with you. It has been quite the summer so far. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. Thank you so much for giving me your time and to watch my channel. If you're a returning visitor, thank you so much. You know I love you, love you, love you. I'm so excited. We've broken the 500 mark on subscribers. I don't know. I'm excited. I'm speechless. Can you believe it? I'm speechless. This morning I looked and there were somewhere like around 580 subscribers. So thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much for all of you who have subscribed, who've watched. If, like I said, if this is your first time watching, please go back, and I invite you to go back and watch some of the previous episodes. I am coming to you from Arizona, which is in the southwestern part of Arizona, and that is in the United States, in the desert, and it's hot. It's normally hot here anyway because of the fact that I live in the desert, but actually where I live, I am at a higher elevation. I have a mountain right behind my house, and so it's typically cooler up here than it normally is down in the Tucson area. But it has actually been hot here. We've had days straight of 105. Today it's supposed to be 105. And by the way, this is episode 22, and today is July 26th of 2023. If you're new here, just quickly, I have been knitting since I was 7 years old. So, like, since yesterday, I started knitting. No, I started knitting as a child. My mom and a really good neighbor taught me how to crochet first, and then taught me how to knit. And so I've been knitting for well over 50 years. And I really enjoy it. I switched over from crocheting to knitting because at that time, back in the day, the knitting patterns just seemed more detailed, more fashionable. Now you've got sweaters and beautiful socks and scarves and mittens, where before, crocheting back when I first learned was very, very limited to just these basic little scarves and granny squares. But now granny squares, they have been revolutionized, and they're making fantastic, great things with it. So crochet has come a long way, and I still love my crocheting. I actually am learning how to do Tunisian crochet, and I've kind of put that to the side right now for the summer because I've been dabbling in some other things. But this is a place where I do it all, basically, with fiber, knitting, crochet, crosswork when my eyes will allow it, embroidery, sewing. So this is a place where if you're passionate about fiber, you're passionate about making, you are in the right place. So thank you so very much for joining me. It's been a month since I did episode 20. So I do have some finished objects because I have been enjoying summer sock camp. I've been enjoying, what did we just have? They just finished, sock week. And we're still going on with, like I said, summer sock camp with Kay, with the Crazy Sock Lady. And we're doing Moon Glow, which is Whitney. She has a sock along that's happening right now as well. I don't know if it's just a sock along or if it's other things. I know it's items made using Moonglow yarn. So I'll have links to all that below. I'll have links to how you can contact me on Instagram. And if you are so inclined, want to send me an email. I do read everyone's comments. I believe I'm all caught up on your comments. They are great. I've been loving them so very, very much. So let's get into what's been happening around here. Grab your favorite beverage and your favorite craft item and sit back and relax. I, of course, have my favorite mug, and I am drinking water as my sip. And I will be doing a separate episode today on my sips, which are stuff I've purchased. Some podcasters say they're, acquisitions, but here it's sips. And along with some dream knitting, I'm going to put that in a separate mini-sode just to talk about those things so that we won't be here terribly long. Okay? So, got to stay hydrated in this heat. All right, what's up first? Okay, finish objects. Well, I've got socks that are finished. Yay! So I showed these on episode 20. I had one sock done, and I believe I was almost done with the other. But my first ever pair of Scrappy Socks. Aren't they pretty? I'm so in love with them. The pattern is Scraptastic by Twin Stitches Design. If you go to the previous episode, episode 20, I go into more detail about everything, but this was with some mystery yarn. It was a mini set. I was missing the labels, so I don't know who the yarn dyer was, so don't know where it came from. But the purple was a knit picks on the heel and the toe. I do know that. And then the off-white was Premier Yarns, a Deborah Norville cream white that I like to have on hand to use. But great pattern, very detailed to let you know, especially me. I'm a very ordered person. I just can't do stuff random. It doesn't work for me. But I kind of have to have instructions to be random. Yeah, doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. And this pattern does that. Will, tell you how many rows you need to do if you want X amount of stripes. And so it came out really great. I'm so excited. My first scrappies. Okay. Moving right along. We'll put those down here. My flamingos are done. Yes. Okay. Aren't they cute? They are so adorable. And this pattern is Why Are Flamingos Pink by Stone Knits. And again, you can see more details on the yarns and things from a previous episode that I will link. Episode 20. These are for the hubs. I ended up having to go up needle size and a sock size. But he will be really happy now because I've had these ready since the last episode. I finished them off and I told him he couldn't wear them because I needed to keep them for the podcast. So he's been bugging me every week since June. When are you podcasting? I want my socks. When are you podcasting? I want my socks. Well, he can have his socks now. But they came out really great. I can't wait. I need to start a pair for myself. And with his, I did a little different. Instead of your standard ribbed cuff, I did a folded cuff. And all that info is on episode 20. But I just like looking at them. I love flamingos. I have flamingos here in my craft room. I've got them in the yard, and they make me happy. They bring me joy. Okay. Now, this was a test knit that I had to have done in June, and I had to have one sock done by June. I think it was June 26th or something like that. But the pattern, I started it was just so simple. Not simple, but so easy and so well written that I finished the one sock requirement way ahead of time. Let me look to see when I actually completed it. Go right quick, go check my Ravelry page here. How's everyone doing? How are you faring? For those of you that are dealing with summer right now, can you believe it? I know we keep talking about it's hot, it's hot, it's hot. Then we'll be talking about it's cold, it's cold, it's cold. But yeah, I mean, I just was watching the news and they were talking about more fires in Greece, and y'all, the world is kind of angry at us right now for some reason. So, okay, let's see. I started these. I started these on June 7th, and I needed to have one sock done by the 26th. And I had one sock done by the 11th of June. So I started the first sock on June 7th, and I finished the first sock on June 11th. Then I set it aside because I had completed what I needed to do for the test knit. Then I set it aside, and then I picked it back up, and then I recently finished the mate on the 18th of July. So I have no more lonely sock syndrome. And here they are. Ta-da! Ta-da! Okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call to come through that I needed to take. So these are, here we go again. These are the Coastal Canter socks, and this was a test knit by Melia Knits, but the pattern has now been released since I did the test knit, and is available as a pay-for pattern on Ravelry. And it is just wonderful. It is a colorwork pattern, and this year has been my year to learn colorwork. So I've been starting with small circumferences before I move up to doing a sweater. So I'm hoping to be able to start doing some sweaters as we get closer to fall. Right now, I just can't manage having a big sweater in my lap, even though I have the air conditioning on. That I'm just not excited about that right now. I'm still in my summer knitting mode. But these are beautiful socks. I love these socks. I love this pattern. Very, very well written and easy to follow. The heel, it's an Eye of Partridge heel, and she does this neat little technique where you're able to get kind of like stripe it, and I'd never done that before, so that's neat. The yarn that I used is this is called Aguas, and it's Malabrigo sock, and it's the one that's 100% wool with no nylon, but I think it will be okay. And you just have your standard rib cuff, and I think I did a twisted rib, and then I added more color here on the toe, just a round toe. And I can't be happier with these. These are so pretty. I can't wait to wear these. I do wear socks even in the summer. Especially here in the house with the air conditioning on, I tend to get cold, and my feet tend to get cold, so I will put them on. Then when I go outdoors, especially in the evenings when we go out to sit on the patio, I am a mosquito magnet, and they always attack my feet, so I usually wear socks uh, in my Crocs when I go outside. So, okay. Now, my last finished sock object. Oh, how I love these. Oops. Here we go. These are the Aliquity Socks by Denise with Earth Tone Girls. And the yarn is a special colorway that was made just for Denise from Woolens and Nosh. And this color is called So This Is Love. And yes, this is love. This yarn is 90% Targi or Tarhi. I'm not quite sure on the pronunciation. And 10% nylon. But it is so plump and it is so soft. And then after I washed it, it plumped up even more. So I have 2 more skeins that I've purchased in the past, but just had not had a chance to knit them up yet. So I will be putting this on my favorite self-striping yarn dyer list. This is beautiful yarn. Now this pattern is great. Anything by Denise at Earth Tones Girls is great. She's such a great teacher. She has a fantastic tutorial to go with it. This was a new heel for me. Normally I do the shadow wrap short row heel that Denise has a tutorial for, but this pattern calls for a Dutch heel, and she did it in two options. You have a garter option, which is what you see here, or in a stockinette. And it's a, if I can take it off the blocker. The heel, it's a square heel. It's a square heel, which is really kind of unique. So I'm looking forward. I've tried it on and it's real squishy and comfortable on the heel. So I'm looking forward to trying this type of heel with the garter out and letting you know how it feels. So maybe for some people who are really, really sensitive and they don't like the bump side against their feet on their heel, maybe this would work. But I'm also going to try out the fit, because normally a heel flap and gusset does not fit me very well. I like a short row, but I'm going to try this out. And then the toe is a garter toe. That was really different. Instead of doing the stockinette toe, doing this garter toe. So check that out. This was a limited edition on this yarn. I'm not sure if she's going to be dyeing more up. You can, I'll have the link to Woolens and Nosh, as well as to Earth Tone Girls. And you can, sign up for Woolens and Nosh and Earth Tone Girls newsletters where they talk, about the yarns. But if this is being brought back, it probably won't be brought back maybe till later in the year. But I just so love this color combination with these pinks and browns. For those of you that are new here, I'm a lover of all things purple and all of the relatives of purple. So their first cousin pink, their grandmother fuchsia, and their other cousins magenta, blush, All those colors I love. So this is the Aliquity Sock by Earth Tones Girls. Okay. And that's it for my sock mania for while I was at sock camp. I mean, my needles have been on fire, and I still have more sock whips going on because I am still away at camp. But I did stop to make the Jessie made mini mock net tank. And here's a picture of it. Let's see if I can get a better one here. Yeah. Okay. There it is. And that is so cute. This is my first Jessie made pattern. And I first was a little intimidated by it, but I loved it once I got started in it. So I challenge you to challenge yourself. Follow the pattern. She writes it in a way that even the very beginner, it's just beginner sweater, you can understand it. So don't be intimidated by it at all. And like I said, I've been knitting for years, and I was like, oh, I don't think I can do this. And then the hub said, I have full confidence in you. You can do this. And once he said that, I was off and running with it and no looking back. So I made this as a birthday gift for my daughter. And it's late. Her birthday was on July 15th, and she knows it's coming, and she knew it's going to be late, and I just thought, I can't get it done. And she says, no problems, but she's very knit worthy. So I finished it last night. I finished it yesterday and gave it its soak bath, its bubble bath and wool wash. And then it got its blocking massage onto blocking mats and dry. Didn't take it long to dry because I set it outside under the patio, and in less than an hour it was dry. So here it is. And isn't she pretty? So I modified the pattern and made it longer by about 3 inches. I added before doing the ribbing because she did not want it cropped where you could see your tummy. She wanted it to come down some, and that's what I love about knitting. You can customize everything, and it is just beautiful. It is a paid-for pattern. What I was concerned about was the way you do the shoulders. I don't want to give away the pattern because it is paid for, but the construction was very different for me. Was starting off knitting something top down, but knitting it flat and then putting it together. It was very different. And then, but like I said, I trusted myself. I trusted the pattern, and it worked. And if you ever have any questions, that's one of the things that you can always do is you can always email the designer. And I've emailed designers before, and they usually get back with me like in a day or two with my questions. And I think they like that, to know that people are using their pattern, and if something needs to be explained. Another thing that we modified is that you have a choice on the neck. You can do a higher neck, or you can do 1/2 inch of ribbing on the neckline, or an inch and a half, and my daughter chose to do the 1/2 inch neckline here. The size I made is a large. I did not get gauge with this yarn, and I'll talk about the yarn in a minute. I did not get gauge with this yarn, so I did a little sweater math, and it should fit just fine. It's supposed to fit a little snug, but I think it's gonna be just fine. The yarn that I'm using, oh my goodness, this is some beautiful yarn. The yarn that I use is called Pocket Posy, and it's by Pearl Soho, and it's 75% superwash merino, 15% cashmere, and 10% nylon. So you know she's knit worthy if I'm giving this child cashmere. So it's here. And this is the colorway. It's called Winter Heath. So it's like a heathered lilac. And it is so soft. And when I finished it, I won't say it was uneven, but you know how when you knit, your stitches just aren't all in line. But then when I blocked it, again, it just bloomed softly and everything just smoothed right out to that. It's just, it came out with a beautiful fabric. And this was knit, the body was knit with a size 4, and the ribbing was done with a 2, which I do believe is the recommended size needle. I needed to do a bust size for a size 38, which came out to be for a size large at 33, because this has negative ease. And this pattern fits anywhere from a size 28 inches to 60 inches. So it's very size inclusive, which I really love that, which is 71 centimeters to 152.5 centimeters. So, and it says to choose your size, subtract. Well, okay, let me put my glasses on. Okay, yeah, this top is designed with 4 to 5 inches, 4.5 to 6.5 inches, or 11.5 to 16.5 centimeters of negative ease at the full chest for a close fit. So to choose your size, you subtract that amount from your full chest, and then choose the closest garment full chest measurement for that. So the closest garment measurement for that for size 38 was a 33.5, which was a size large. So that's what I made. And I can't wait to make another one. Actually, I have plans to get another one on the needle for my sister for her birthday. Her birthday is next month as well, and in August. My birthday is in August, and so she knows she's getting one because she's picked out her color. And actually it's another lilac one. This is the Posy, and this one is actually called Lilac Petal. So you get more details on that. More details on this one when I start it for her. but I just love it. And then I found these cute little handmade labels on Amazon, and I'm trying them out for the very first time. They're not leather. They said they're made out of vegan material. I don't know what that is, but it's not leather. And they can be used to be washed with, as long as you're not washing something on a high heat temperature. I thought that makes it easier to be able to tell the front, from the back. So here she is, mini mock neck tank by Jessie Made Designs. Okay. All right, so let's hang that over here. That's all I have for my finished objects. I tell you, I have been busy. So let's move into some whips. And while I'm gathering those, I'd like to know several things. Come on, talk to me. What have you been working on? Have you made the Jessie Made's mini mock tank? And if you have, how'd you like the pattern? What yarn did you use? I want to hear all about your project. I want to hear about what you're working on now, right now. Okay? All right. Let's see. What do I have in the line of WIPs, which stands for Works in Progress? And I will start off with the secret. So the secret is I am doing the Stephen West mystery knit along. Okay? I'll give you a minute. I know. Who am I? Because yes, I did the whole thing on the shellography and how I determined, and I came on here and I told you all, I do not like mysteries. Like mystery books, like mystery movies, don't like mystery knitting. Want to know what I'm making. But a very good friend of mine needed some support with the Stephen West mystery knit along, and she says it's for socks and I need some support. So I said, okay, it's socks. Okay, if I can work with a pair of socks. If I don't like the socks, they're small enough that I can always, I can gift them to someone, or I can rip it back apart, and I only make one. So it's not that big of a deal. It's not like when you're making this big shawl and you get into it and you don't know from one thing to the next of whether or not that's going to like your style or not. And it's nothing against Stephen West. I think he is an amazing, talented creator, designer, and knitter. I love his tutorials. I love the way he explains things. I love when he says knit 1, purl 2. I like when he says that. I just what I was creating, I knew I wasn't going to wear this. It was beautiful. I was learning some new techniques, but I wasn't going to wear this, and there wasn't anyone I could give it to, and so I wasn't enjoying it. After I got up to like clue, right past clue 2, beginning clue 3, I was able to tell I'm not, no, this is not for me. So I frogged the project, and frogging means to rip it apart. So I frogged it, and I have the yarn. I'm going to repurpose it for something else. But so there's nothing about Stephen West at all. I think his work is beautiful, but I don't like knowing what I'm going to knit. So anyway, I wanted though to support my friend with her mystery sock from Mr. West. And I got into it, and I'm actually loving this sock, mystery sock, and it's called I think it's called Contrast Blast, but it's his surprise sock along 2023. So I'm about to show you. We're up to clue 3. Clue 3 came out last Thursday, I think it was. So if you have not seen clue 3, look away. Look away quickly. And I don't know, make sure you come back, but look away. Okay? All right, so here we go. Here is clue 3. Here's clue 1 through 3 of the Stephen West mystery sock along. It's called Contrast Blast. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at this here. Look at those cables. And I love this like brick formation here. And this diagonals here, which we put here. And then again, we interfaced the solid color with the contrast color, the main color with the contrast color. And we've got cables here. Now, I have not done cables in a thousand moons, okay? So he shows you in the tutorial how to do cables with a spare DPN or a or without a cable needle. You can use a DPN as a cable needle or without. So I was using I tried using the DPN, but it was just getting in the way. It was too long. And I had a cable needle, but for some reason I found my set and the small one was missing. So then I went online and I found a little tool kit that came with 3 different sizes of bamboo because I was using the needle. Then I was using the needle, the little tool that you use if you have a drop stitch, and using that part. But that was kind of fiddly. So anyway, I ended up, and I'll talk more about this in the mini-sode that I'm going to do. But this is a cute little cable needle. It's got little notches. I don't know if you can see that there. Hold your stitches. So this has been great. Great tool for doing cables. Now, like I said, you do not have to have a cable needle. You can use a DPN. And maybe if I had a shorter DPN, that would have worked. But I had, because I don't use DPNs really not at all anymore. And it just wasn't working. And then to do it without a needle at all, where you slide those live stitches off and let them fold to the back. No, I'm not doing that. My eyes are too bad, and I drop stitches when they should be on the needle. So there's no way I'm gonna purposely, drop them. To me, that's like, skydiving. Why would I jump out of a perfectly good, airplane? If the pilot's not jumping, I'm not jumping. So, I'm sorry, I digress. So, no, I need training wheels, and I have a tool here. So I'm so happy for the tool to do that. I guess you could kind of like use a toothpick, maybe. I hadn't thought about that. But anyway, that's what this is. So I'm so excited. Let me tell you about the yarn that I'm using. I went deep stash diving. And here's the yarn for the contrast color. Isn't that pretty? I just love all those colors. And it's like, I bought this so long ago, and I'm not really a green person. And the camera is really picking it up nicely. But these colors just jumped out at me. And this neon colors. And this is by the company called Color Refined. And this is their base smooth sock in the colorway Sour. And it's a 75% merino, 25% nylon, 438 yards. Now, I don't know if they're still in business or not because, like I said, I've had this yarn in my stash for, probably since 2010, something like that. So quite some time. But it was just calling to me saying, knit me for the mystery, knit me. And I did. And I paired it with, this is, which you know I love. And if you're new, I love Knit Picks Stroll Fingering. And this is the colorway Grass. And it comes in 50-gram balls. It's a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Comes in 50-gram balls, 231 yards. So typically I need, like, 2 of these to make a substantial pair of socks. If I'm making shorties, I can get away with just like one of these. But since I am mixing this with the contrast, I'll be curious to see actually if I'm going to need both right now. So this pattern comes with a left sock and a right sock. So the left sock is just the mirror image, so everything's going this way. So I'm going to start that as soon as I finish. When Clue 4 comes out this week and I finish this one, then I'll start on the left sock. But I'm so happy that she asked me to support her with this make along, this mystery knit along. I'm so happy that she did, and I'm so happy that I did it. And I am really, really, really enjoying this very, very much. Okay, so I guess I'll take back with saying I don't like mystery knit alongs. I don't like mystery shawl knit alongs. I'm okay with a sock, mystery sock knit along. How about that? Okay, so let me know. Is anyone else out there doing the mystery sock? And in case you're wondering, why are there so many needles down here? It's because I knit my needles with 2 circulars. My favorite way to knit needles is using 2 circulars or with magic loop. And that's what this is. That's why there's so many needles here. If you're not familiar with working with 2 circulars, there are a lot of tutorials out there. Denise with Earth Tones Girl, her channel, she has a neat tutorial on working with 2 circulars. I'm pretty sure there's many others, but I really like working this method and the magic loop method, and also using 9-inch circulars. I typically start my socks with 9-inch circulars, and then once I get past the cuff and I start on the leg, I will then move them over to either magic loop or 2 circulars. And for those of you that like DPNs, I stand in awe of you. I could never get that to work, and that was my nemesis with learning how to make Socks. Okay. My next whip is my, there we go. These are sock that I started, and these are my Life's Better When Camping socks. And this is by Gray Owl Knits. I believe I showed this on the last episode, maybe as a dream knit. But it's so cute. See the little trailer and the little tent. You got the mountains and the pine trees. And so I am knitting these for a bestie. And she just acquired a camper. Or glamper. That's what I call it, a glamper. And so I thought, oh, these would be so cute. So I just started, and oh my God, there's like 1,000 strings. And again, with my challenge to do color work. And I'm still working on the chart. I've done the mountains. And I'm working on the trees. And this, that's a little camper. And that stitch marker is from, there we go. It's from 3 by the Sea. And when I saw that, it's like, oh, I have to have that for this project. They're one of my favorite project makers and progress keepers. And yarn dyer now. So 3 by the Sea made that. So this is how far I am right now. Just dropped a stitch here. Get back over there. There we go. So this is how far I am right now. The yarns that I'm using for this, this main color here is the majority of the yarns, well, all of the yarns except for one, is Knit Pick Straw. And this is called, it is here. This is called Blue Steel Heather. And I thought that would make a really pretty background. In the photo, you can't really tell, but the colorway that they used was actually like a purple. But I thought this would look really nice. And then the mountains is from Chicken Coop Dye Works. And that she's an indie dyer, and I love her work. And this is Fingering Weight. And it's like a gray with white kind of mixed to it. It's really pretty. This is on her, is it on her Miss Posy? Let me look it up. I think it's her. I believe I have the tag in here. Yes. So I don't have to guess too much. Here's the ball band. It's Miss Prissy. Oh, I said Posy. I was thinking about the other thing. Miss Prissy, and the colorway is called Ice Fort. So it's Chicken Coop Dye Works. And Miss Prissy. And it's a 70% superwash merino, 30% silk. So that's the two colors that I have right there. And then the tree is this bamboo heather. It's the trees. And then the camper is some leftover, and it's coming up more blue than it's sort of a turquoisey. This is called Wonderland by Nitpicks Stroll Fingering, and it's left over from another pair of socks that I had made, my coffee break socks. So that's going to be the camper. And then the tent is going to be out of this, it's called Dogwood Heather. So that's when life is better when camping socks. Okay. So I'll be showing these. Hopefully, won't be too long. I'd like to, get these finished, and then get them sent off to her to surprise her. Okay. My next whip is a Ranunculus, and you probably never heard of it before. I'm just teasing. The Ranunculus sweater has been knit, I don't know, like, that we know of, like, I don't know, 14,000 times or something like that on Ravelry. I've made one. I made one last year. Yes, because last year was my year of the garment. I made one out of Ultra Pima Cotton by Cascade. And so then this summer, I'm making one out of some linen quill. And I'm almost ready. I'm almost ready to start to split for the sleeves. So this has been on my needles now since June, and I really need to give it some love. I'm doing this one a little differently than I did the other one. I am that's weird. I gotta figure out what's going on with that string there that's popping up. I am making this one a size 6, which is bigger than the size that I made before. But I did some sweater math for the size that I want to fit for the size that I want it to fit, and I'm hoping that my math worked right before I go into details on what I did, just in case if it doesn't turn out right. My ring just caught on one of the lace loops here. Hang on one second. I'm trying to get it back in its spot. Okay, there we go. So what I did differently, if you're not familiar with the Ranunculus sweater, this is by Midori Hiroshi, and it's a fantastic pattern. And everybody starts off the same way, doesn't matter what size you're making it. She updated I guess originally it was one size fits all. But when I got the pattern last year, it did have actual sizes, multiple sizes, up to, I think, like 70 something inches. But it's supposed to be with a lot of ease. And you can use anywhere from a fingering weight up to a worsted weight in the gauge, as long as you get the gauge. I don't understand it. It's magic. But you can decide basically how much ease and stuff that you want it to have. And it has two necklines. One is a close neckline, and then one kind of hangs off the shoulders. Actually, yeah, I have a picture. So you can do a lot of different things with it and customize it the way you want to. Many people have done so many different things. And because it is a paid-for pattern, I don't want to go into a whole lot of details, but it has a you do the tubular cast-on method for the ribbing. I did that on my first one, and I didn't like it. So I was looking around at other projects and watching other podcasters, and some folks have switched it out for just a regular long tail cast on, which is what I did. And I extended the amount of ribbing that I did. So I wanted to come up, not like, a turtleneck, but I wanted to come up, even higher. So then with Midori's pattern, you just work the pattern no matter what size you're making, and you just work the pattern, and you don't have to worry. You work through the lace, and you don't have to worry about what size you are until it's time to split for the sleeves and start doing your raglan increases. And that's where I am just about right now. So, and this, of course, is a much lighter fabric than what I am, than what I made before. I am using size US 10, which is a 6mm. Which is what the pattern called for. And when I swatched, I was slightly off on my gauge. I know it's a pretty big swatch, but I make big swatches usually when I swatch, so I can measure quite a bit. But I liked the fabric. I liked the fabric that I was getting. And so when I swatched, I got 17 stitches for 4 inches. And the pattern calls for, I believe it's 18 stitches for 4 inches. So I left it at that. And I'm going ahead with the 10. And like I said, I did some sweater math, and I came out that I should be making a size 6, which is a size bigger than what I did the last time. So we'll see, because I'm trying to achieve for a, I want a 48-inch bust, which would be 12 inches. I mean, not 12 inches. I have a 42-inch bust, and so it's only going to be 6 inches bigger, where this is supposed to be made to be within like a 10-inch, of 10 to 15-inch positive ease, and I didn't want that much, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm using linen quill. And the colorway is what is the color? I believe it's called Bright Flamingo. I lost my ball band. Here it is. Yes, it's called Bright Flamingo. And it's linen quill, which is 50% fine Highland wool, 35% alpaca, and 15% linen. It is a fingering weight, 439 yards, 400 grams. If you've been around here a long time, you know my linen quill stash is quite extensive. So I'm using that to make this. It's really pretty, and I really need to get working on it. And I have my cute little stitch marker. That's where I was, I believe, the last time I showed this briefly. I was way up here. So I've done quite a bit of work. I've done pretty much, like I said, all of the lace work. And this lace work, once it's blocked, will open up. But what I plan on doing, another modification, is I was watching Little Big Knits, and her name is Selma, and she's out of Canada, and she just made one which was really lacy and really pretty. But totally, it was a linen yarn, and she added side slits. So I want to try that on this one. So, what she said was that, you know, when you're knitting the body, then right before you get ready to do the your ribbing at the bottom, then you put the back panel on hold, and then you work across the front, and then bind that off in ribbing, and then bind that off, and then pick up on waist yarn the back stitches, and then do your ribbing and bind that off, and then you'll have a split on the side. So I want to try that, do a split hem on the sides for this. I think that would look really, really cute, and I plan on wearing this over the top of some linen dresses that I have that are strapless, not strapless, but the little skinny straps, spaghetti straps, and or like a tank, maybe top like this, like over the top for the summer. Have something on my arms. I plan on doing sleeves. I think my sleeves I'll probably do to about right here with a little bit of ribbing, so maybe do, you know, a few rounds. She has it, Midori has it, where you just kind of like just bind off and you have that rolled look. I don't want that. My previous one I actually extended it and then put some ribbing around here, and I think I'll do the same thing. Maybe come down a little bit further on the arm. I'd like to be able to cover this and come down on my arm, but above my elbow, since it's so warm, and it stays warm here well into the fall, well into like October. But it's nice that if you go out like in the evening, sometimes it starts to get cooler, or go to a restaurant. I went out last week. We celebrated our anniversary last week, and we're in the restaurant, and my arms were out, and I was cold sitting in the restaurant, and I should have brought a shawl or something with me. So that would be nice to have this covering the top, but I love this color. It is so, so pretty. So I'm getting motivated to work on this more and more. So this is my ranunculus. This will be my second ranunculus, or ranunculi. Okay. And a great podcaster to watch is Stephanie with Edible Thoughts makes. And she's made, I don't know, maybe about 5 or 6 of them, and in different weights, and she's customized them differently just to show you how versatile the pattern is. And I think that that's really, you can take any pattern, I guess, really, and make it your own. But I'm not a designer, and so when it's something really easy that you can do, like, change the length of it, do the, the arms or the neck, okay, that's something I can do. Or change the yarns that you're using, and change the gauge to get a fabric that you like. Makes it a totally different item, which is neat. Now this one, I think I will make it crop, even though, I do not have the figure for wearing a crop that shows your tummy, but I do like the look of having a crop over to wear over top of a dress, or high-waisted skirt, or with a button-down shirt underneath it. I do like that look. So I'm thinking that I won't do, my other one is full length. I don't think I'm going to go that long with it. I think I'm going to do a crop length. So, okay, ranunculus. So, I'll ask, have any of you made the ranunculus? And if so, how'd you like it? How many have you made? All right, well, that comes to, I want to know. That pretty much comes to the end of what I have for this episode. Stay tuned for Minisode 3, which will be talking about my sips, stuff I've purchased, and upcoming dream knitting. Okay? It's been wonderful to spend this time with you all. Make sure that you stay hydrated. Make sure, for those of you that are experiencing summer, make sure that you stay safe, and I love you, and until next time, bye-bye.